Hello, this is Tarregor. This video is a Twitch stream that was not edited, so it's going to look like a Twitch stream. Welcome to my vision of World of Warcraft Classic Plus. The design direction in my vision of World of Warcraft Classic Plus is substantially different from that of retail WoW, Circa Shadowlands, and the private servers, Vanilla Plus Internal WoW. This is partially because this aims to fix the game's many problems first, flesh it out and polish it second, and add new content first, the game being Vanilla WoW, of course. This is part of a playlist of videos. Check this video's description for a link to the playlist. The document displayed is my vision of Classic Plus, and the document's version number is 1.5.15. All versions of the document are based upon patch 1.12.2 of World of Warcraft. You know, the one from 2006 before the Burning Crusade pre-patch. If you just want to know about the general design direction of my vision of Classic Plus before you otherwise look into this, then watch the introductory video in this playlist or video document yourself and look at the list of major features. The link to the document is in my channel's About page. That, and I do not have a team of people, however, working with me to make an actual private server out of this. This is all pure design thus far, and it ain't done yet. Come to think of it, I forgot to say that last sentence in my last video. Oh. These display changes made to Blackrock Depths do not concern what drops from Blackrock Depths, nor things such as NPC hit points, NPC hit damage, or NPC pathfinding, nor quest changes, nor other such changes. Those are covered in different parts of this document that I'll be covering in different videos. However, it is still worth briefly mentioning that elite NPCs in general, and not just in dungeons, are going to hit a lot harder and have a lot more hit points, and they will be able to run up 180-degree slopes, so walls, to chase players around without evade bugging. It is also worth mentioning that almost every damaging and crowd controlling AoE spell, item, and buff that's available to players was nerfed to have a hard target cap, a la Thunderclap, Whirlwind, and War Stomp, of 6 targets per spellcast or tick. Furthermore, all elite mobs in the game were buffed so that movement speed slows have a lesser effect against them, by which I do not mean a lower duration or chance to resist the debuffs. Because of these changes and other changes, you will not be able to successfully do any spell cleaving or melee cleaving, and unless you sorely outlevel the dungeon, you won't be able to AoE farm it either. You know, maybe you won't be able to spell cleave if you're, like, invest slot forever gear and using consumables and shit like that, but why the fuck did you do that? Anyway, you should expect to have to actually use marks in dungeons if you're going to actually use a shield if you ain't a druid. Now then, on to the changes made to Blackrock Depths. I'm going to go open the door first so the slide can come out. And drinking this water. That's better. The parts of the Blackrock Depths are behind doors that require a shadowforge key or a rogue or blacksmith for engineer to enter will be turned into a level 58 to 60 10-man raid, while the rest of Blackrock Depths will remain a level 47 to 55 5-man dungeon. The Dark Keepers located beyond the Shadowforge locks will be relocated elsewhere from the Blackrock Depths in order to go along with the above change. To effectively remove a source of non-competitive income, arena spectators, average guardsmen, and average footmen will be given guns that hit about as hard as their melee attacks do, and as or nearly as often too. They will use these in nobody's in melee range, and I'll try to stay in melee range if they get in melee range of the target, but if the target then leaves and stay outside of melee range, then they'll go back to shooting at other targets in melee range again. When the arena event begins, High Justice Grimstone will teleport all players and their minions that are in the entire instance, no matter where they are, into the arena right after the doors close, and he'll prevent all players from entering that instance to the Blackrock Depths while the arena event is ongoing. He'll simultaneously do so. This will prevent an exploit that allowed all players of all classes to, depending on what spawns, solo the arena event at any level where they can enter the place where they can enter Blackrock Depths in the first place without taking a single point of damage. To make Blackrock Depths lava runs be harder and lengthier, though not nearly impossible, the lava that is against the walls that people have to run upon in Blackrock Depths lava runs will now... Where the fuck is my cursor? Will burn you when you're against said walls. There are already islands to swim through that don't have lava and do have Fireguard Destroyers on them, so use those for Blackrock lava. So use those for the lava runs. The Fireguard Destroyers on the islands beneath Incendius will have a special aggro trigger or something like that makes all Fireguard Destroyers on that island get aggro whenever anybody steps onto the islands that they're on, to make Blackrock Death's lava runs involve actually killing those things. They're probably put there for a reason. Fury Ragnaros, casted by Twilight Emissaries into Blackrock Depths, which increases the magical damage dealt by the target by 25 for 30 minutes, will have its duration reduced to 3 minutes to prevent it from being used to make raids easier. The quest, What is Going On, Part 1, will be changed such that, upon accepting the quest, he'll immediately despawn and be replaced by an NPC of the same name who quests cannot be turned into, and you'll have to escort Commander Gorshak to Blackrock Depths exit. People used to call it an escort quest for a reason, as well as go through a lot of unskippable dialogue that takes a long time to complete, and the unskippable dialogue will mention Karan, who, did I pronounce that right, who the quest is now turned, who the quest will be turned into, and the next quest is obtained from. These changes are being made in order to make mages actually decide to turn in the quest before they hit level 60 if they complete it before then. Now, if you recall correctly, in Vanilla Classic Not Plus from 2019 to 2020, if you actually played there on the Horde, you may recall that mages leveled in Blackrock Depths all the time, just doing that quest in groups of, like, was it 4 mages and a healer, or was it 5 mages? I forget. And then you just all accepted it at once or some shit. Actually, no, it wasn't all at once. Anyways, he used a quest to spawn a bunch of NPCs and then just kill them without getting hit because fucking mages. And then they abandoned the quest and did it again, and they did it over and over and over again, and they got a fuck ton of experience and money out of it. Yeah, I don't want people doing that in Classic Plus. Next change. So holes on the sides of the walls of the 2 shadowforge locks at the very entrance of Blackrock Depths, right to your left as you enter the instance. Those holes are going to be filled up so that you can't just jump past the walls. Yeah, you could do that in Classic Not Plus. Presumably also in Vanilla. In the Emperor's room, both bridges will have 2 pillars in the middle of them. One closest to the wall and one further from the wall. So that you will have to run past them to go up on the ramps to reach the bridges. These pillars shall exist so that when you're cutting one or more mobs across the bridge and then jump off of the bridge, the mobs can run down one of these 2 pillars in order to reach that much faster. Well, faster than they otherwise could. And once again, elite mobs were changed to be able to run up 180-degree slopes, so yeah, they'll be able to do that. And hunters are going to have a much harder time soloing that boss, Emperor Dagran Thorson, if they're going to be able to do it at all. Alright, and that's all the changes made to Blackrock Depths in particular. Thanks for watching.